Speaking of the NFL, the Lions have some cap space. You know, we were reading the that Sports Illustrated account with the writers predicting the next 5 Super Bowl winners. And one guy predicts the Lions to win back-to-back Super Bowls. And he said that the key is adding that receiver. That receiver to complement Amon-Ra St. Brown. He said maybe it will be J-Mo like the team thinks. Maybe it'll be Donovan Peoples-Jones. But the key to everything is adding that receiver. I don't love the free agent receivers, Hunter Renfrow, Michael Thomas. So does it come via trade? If first of all, we have to decide whether or not they need that guy, if we agree with that. If they do, it feels like it's more likely to come via trade than free agency.
Yeah, and I think if they determine that, I feel like that's not going to be determined until the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. That I don't think they'd make that move prior to. I think if they make a move prior to, it might be for an edge rusher. Just because if they could get an upgrade, we mentioned the names. There was an article that came out last week of potential names that could be moved before training camp begins, and it had Matthew Judon was one of the names, and so was Khalil Mack, and suggesting that you could get those guys for maybe a 3rd-round pick because those teams need to rebuild. They got to move on, and both of those guys are in their 30s, and in Khalil Mack's case, I think he's like 33, even though he's coming off a wildly productive season, and Judon's coming off a year where he only played 4 games last year, but he had 4 sacks in 4 games. But would that make sense? And I'm thinking if I could get Khalil Mack for the next year before his contract is up for just a 3rd-round pick, okay, let's do it. But we'll see if that's in the cards. I don't know if that's in the cards. It's just one guy suggesting these are trades that could happen.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But I'm guessing that they're going to keep this cap space open for the trade deadline and see where they're at because they know they're good, right?
Yep.
So at that point, if you're a really good football team, you're looking for the piece that's going to put you over the top. And you're almost halfway through the season at that point. You'll know about injuries with your team. Hopefully there are very few to deal with. And just some guys might just want out of their current situations, and they might be perfect for the Lions to go ahead and take that gamble on a rental player because that's really what it would be. You're taking on a rental player.
So it's so smart when you think about it because what if James Houston gets back to what he was and is a demon off the edge, but they do need another wide receiver? What if J-Mo answers all the questions at wide receiver and James Houston doesn't? They are keeping themselves the flexibility to address an issue if one emerges, and it does make a ton of sense to just take that cap space into the season. The weird thing is probably the receiver that gets the most trade talk these days is Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. Mm-hmm. There's like no way the Niners and Lions would strike
Absolutely
a deal like
that. I can't see that. And you're talking about trading a guy that wants a new contract. I don't think the Lions are looking for guys, I would imagine at this point, that have to be dirt cheap or they're rentals. They're 1-year guys. So that's free agency, you give them a 1-year contract, that's the dirt cheap route. Or you find a rental on a guy who's got an expiring contract.
It seems to make sense. There are some rumblings that, free agents are going to start to land places in the next couple of weeks.
Well, we got training camp starting up, so they're going to have to go somewhere. There's some good players out there.
The Tennessee Titans today came to agreement with Jamal Adams, the safety. There goes one of the safeties off the market. If the Lions do have a signing, a press conference will be held tomorrow at 11 a.m., preempting any previously scheduled broadcast. You're on 97.1 The Ticket.
You're unbelievable.